Good morning, bakers. It's Sunday morning, it's very early, and I'm not usually ready for prime time this early, trust me. It's only about 6:42. I'm never ready to be on prime time at this hour, but I had a mind-blowing experience this past week. I saw on a YouTube short that you could make a starter with no waste. What? Here I've been proposing the 100 grams of water, 100 grams of flour every day, throwing out all of it but 25 grams. It was a huge waste. I tried the 50 grams and only having to throw away, a much smaller portion, half a portion every day. I saw on a YouTube short that all you had to do was add 1 tablespoon of flour, 1 tablespoon of water into a small jar each morning or each day, once a day, and you never throw anything out. And I couldn't believe it, so I thought, well, I have to try this right away. So I did. And this is the leaven I've made from that 1 tablespoon of flour, 1 tablespoon of water. I did that for 7 days. Just added a little bit, never threw anything out, just mixed it well and fed it. So I had fed it yesterday morning because it was rising up, and by last night it was ready to make a leaven. So I made a leaven before I went to bed. I added 25 grams of that stuff because there was about 140 grams by the time I was done. I took 25, actually took 35 because it's a new starter and I was a little worried about whether it'll give me oven spring. But I made my leaven. This is now going to be a little over 200 grams. And I'm going to make bread with this starter. And what I did with the remainder of that starter that I had, since I used 35 grams, I had 110 grams left. I incorporated it into my full-time, long-lived Bready Prince starter. I just mixed it all in, gave him a little bit of a feed, and he will be fine. I need to leave him on the counter and let him start feeding, I think. But now we're ready to make bread. I'm not going to post this until I see how the bread turns out. And since I'm making the dough on Sunday morning, I won't bake it until Monday morning. And it's going to be the proof in the pudding. But if this bread turns out, it's earth-shattering, because now we don't need to ever have a discard, ever. There's no discard. I never discard any of my starter, Bready Prince. I never discard any of him. He gets used every week. I use about 100 grams out of him a week, and I replace 100 grams. So anyway, let's get started. I want to try this bread and see how it works. So I stopped using 700 grams of water, which was in my initial recipe, and I took it down to about 660 grams, 665, something like that. I found it was much easier to use if you didn't have quite so much water. I know high hydrations are desirable, but I don't like a high hydration bread. It's too hard to work with. I find it very difficult to manage, to shape, and I found I didn't get good oven spring with such a high hydration. Or if I did, it was way too open to crumb for me to make toast or sandwiches or whatever, because everything fell through all the holes. So anyway, I'm very excited about this. I'm going to go ahead and make this dough, and then I'll come back tomorrow, tomorrow when I bake it. And when I lift that lid for the first time, if it's given me my oven spring, I think I have figured out the whole conundrum of waste during the period of making your starter. It's wonderful. Okay, happy baking, everybody.